Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Econ Americas podcast, where each month we share under the radar investment opportunities from countries across the Americas. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and find us on all the major podcast platforms. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Casts, Anchor, etc. So you can find us there. And Econ Americas is a startup research firm and that provides financial and economic intelligence. You can learn more about us and our services at econamericas.com. We're on all the major social media platforms as well. I'm Daniel Duerte, editor at Econ Americas, and this month's episode, I'm joined by Cristóbal Pereira. He's an entrepreneur, an educator, and experienced financial analyst from Chile. Cristóbal, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for the invitation, Dan.
No problem. And let me just say you are involved in several projects, but a couple of them are Latam Tech. You're the founder, co-founder, and CEO. And this is a company with 3 business units. This is an educational unit, Blockchain Academy, Chile, Hack Latam, and Blockchain Summit Latam. And you're also an instructor at the University of Chile's Blockchain for Business course. And different training programs across Latin America. So thank you for joining us today, and let's explore these fascinating topics. This topic is crypto assets in and for Latin America, because Latin America is not just a participant in this space, but it's also a creator and has many entrepreneurs involved in crypto assets. So in your experience, the digital assets market, as you know, has been very active this year, and we've heard and seen the price volatility, and it has hit the news. So what do you see from your perspective, the main differences between the developed world and Latin America in terms of crypto investing?
For I can see the main difference is that in Latin American ecosystem you still have retail investment, not institutional investment. That is the key difference. The market in Latin America is driven by people, by the retail investors, and for a couple of months ago, since this bull run where we moved from $15,000 in Bitcoin to more than $50,000, more institutional investors are interested, but not investing in Bitcoin. More just like qualified investors, more than family office, and some more related with qualified investors with a asset administrator for more than $1 million. They are investing like a little percentage of that into Bitcoin. But today, as you don't have any product or service like an ETF or something related, like for example a grayscale fund in Latin America, these investors need to how they invest. Well, they need to open an account into an exchange, deposit the fiat currency that they are operating, and after that pass through all the process. And not everyone get to the end. This is more related with retail investors, and that is the key difference. But for example, last week the Santiago Stock Exchange listed the ETF, the first one in the world, from the Toronto, Canada Stock Exchange. So that is a very good news for Chilean investors. They can have the exposure to Bitcoin volatility or Bitcoin price through this ETF. So I think that for the couple of weeks ago that we are going to have, I think that more people are going to more related with institutional investor. We are going to see investing in Bitcoin.
Excellent. And why do you think that is the case? Is that because of regulations, risk assessment or risk averse asset managers, or just the culture of Latin American investment firms?
No, it's the regulation that here in Latin America you don't have. Mexico is the only, but Mexico is the only country that have a regulated ecosystem, but just more related with fintech, crowdfunding platform and wallets or uh, fiat custodies, but not related with cryptocurrencies. Just in Colombia right now, there is starting this sandbox, this regulator sandbox, where 9 alliances between banks and exchange are going to be working for an entire year to operation of cash in and cash out for Colombians. So, for example, Binance with Davivienda is one of the biggest bank in Colombia. You have also Gemini from the Twinkleballs twins.
Brothers.
You have also Bitso, the largest exchange in Latin America. Buda is one of the first exchange in Colombia that they are going to start working with these banks for an entire year, and after this year ends, the regulator they are going to promote a regulation, a law, so that this business get regulated. But in other countries, you don't have anything. So, for example, in Chile, in 2018, banks closed the accounts for the exchanges. Argue that they were promoting money laundering, and at least in here in Chile, we have a court for free market, for free competition, and the exchanges suits the banks, the entire banks in Chile. They want that in that process because the banks have to or reopen their accounts, and until today they are still in court, well, fighting each other to see which one have the right reason to stay in the business. But for what I can see with the different founders of these exchanges, they are more related. There is a possibility that the exchanges will win this fight. And well, I think that this is mainly focused. Why don't we have more institutional investors in Latin America in Bitcoin? Is because this is a business that is not regulated, and that is why just retail people is investing in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies.
Right. And if we examine Bitcoin, for instance, which is the first and most actively traded and famous cryptocurrency, the creator's main goal was for Bitcoin to become money, for people to use it in everyday transactions. But it's still not the case in the developed world. Do you think this use case has a stronger case in Latin America, where, for instance, Argentina or Venezuela or some other countries don't have stable fiat currencies?
Yeah, of course. The use cases in countries not only in Latin America, in Africa or Asia, where you have economic problems in your country with your local currency, Bitcoin is a use cases for that. Is where the people, not all the people, it's just a little percentage of the population, because not everyone knows Bitcoin and knows other cryptocurrencies. But for the ones that are interested in this technology, they see Bitcoin as money. So they can fight against the inflation rate that they have in their local countries. And with Bitcoin, they see that their wealth is not they are not losing wealth every day. And so that is super important for at least for the reality that I can see here, and for what I talk with different friends that I have through entire Latin America. Argentina and Venezuela are the countries more related with Bitcoin as a store of value, but also as a payment method. In Brazil and Mexico, you are having that situation also, because their local currencies are being they have an inflation rate high for what we can see in this for the pandemic. What United States is doing to printing money, $1.9 trillion. That is going to have an effect in Latin America, in countries like we have also in Chile, that we have economic stability from the last 30 years, but we are losing purchasing power with this economic issue that we are going to have for the next month. For countries like Mexico, Venezuela, and others, Bitcoin is more related with as a store of value and a payment system.
It may surprise you that Brazil, of all places, is the global leader in the next generation of banks, also known as neobanks. It is home to the largest digital-only bank in the world, Nubank, which boasts 34 million customers and has expanded to Colombia, Mexico, and Argentina. Neobanks emerged in 2013 in Europe to offer online-only, lean, and low-cost banking services. By leveraging cutting-edge technologies such as artificial intelligence, they offer tailored finances and better user experiences. Despite Latin America's legendary bureaucracy, Nubank emerged that same year in Sao Paulo, Brazil's largest city. At that time, the four largest banks controlled 80% of the deposits, and almost 40% of the population did not have a bank account. With a $25 billion market valuation, Nubank is now the world's highest valued neobank. It is also one of the largest financial institutions in Brazil and has the most downloaded phone app. Although it initially catered to millennials, Nubank now serves the broader public. Visionary financial regulations in the early 2010s have been stimulating the fintech industry's development in Brazil, a highly competitive market that caters to 55 million residents without banking accounts. These regulations have enabled new digital payment systems, peer-to-peer lending, and open banking. There are 9 other neobanks in Brazil: AG Bank, Banco Inter, Banco Pan, Meupac, Neon, Next, Original, and Super Digital, and over 10 fintech challengers without banking licenses. In most cases, neobanks started as digital branches of traditional institutions with banking permits of their own. Many of them have participated in successful rounds of capital raising. Neobanking thrived in Brazil's tech-savvy culture thanks to ubiquitous phones and ultra-low costs. Nubank, for instance, offers an international credit card and a savings account with no maintenance or annuity fees. Internet access reached 70% of the population in 2019 and continues to grow. Open banking is the next frontier. This is when banks share clients' financial data with third parties in order to provide more specialized services. However, trust is still low. Although 73% of Brazilians surveyed by Ernst & Young Americas in 2019 were comfortable with using a digital-only bank, barely half said they felt safe with open banking. For more information about neobanking in Brazil, make sure to check out our show notes, where we have included a link to a backgrounder on the topic by Econ Americas.
Yes, and we should also mention this adoption has been going on for several years. It's not a recent thing in Latin America. In particular, in Argentina and Venezuela, people have been using both US dollars and Bitcoins to preserve their wealth. And we also know that Latin America has a very large remittance market. Many migrants who live in, for instance, in the US or Europe send money to their families every year. And in some countries, this is a very large revenue source of, compared with GDP, it can go as high as 10% in some Central American countries. So can Latin American fintech companies dislodge the incumbent firms such as Western Union and others in this industry? What services do you know that are entering this industry?
Well, for example, Bitso is the largest exchange in Latin America that is based in Mexico. They have a large position of the market share of the remittances between United States and Mexico. That is the biggest market in remittances in the entire world, and they are using XRP to do it for Mexicans that or Mexicans that they are living in the United States and wants to send money to their families in Mexico. They are using Bitso, and Bitso is using XRP as the currency for doing this. And for what I know, they have like a 5% of the entire remittances market between United States and Mexico. That was the last number that I have in my mind for a couple of months. I don't know if they have more or less, but that is very, very important for
Yes,
for a cryptocurrency company. Yeah, and well, for the pandemic also, I don't know, I don't have an exact number, but for example, people living in Chile, we have a lot of people from Venezuela, Colombia, and Peru. Those are the three biggest immigrants that we have, communities of immigrants that we have here in Chile.
mm-hmm.
And we know that they are using, not all of them, of course, but they are growing the use of Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies to send money to their families. We operate a little remittances from Chile to Venezuela. We use cryptocurrencies to do it, and a lot of people are using our system because it is cheaper than traditional system like Western Union or banks system, and it's quicker. So people is seeing the difference. It's cheaper, is quickly. So I can see that they are not just using Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies to for the price, but this is a real use cases. It's related with remittances also.
Yes, and let's say if the market share not only doubles but triples to the current size, this will be a very large industry,
Yeah.
and the development potential is enormous. So what other cryptocurrencies are popular in the region? And we see, for instance, more interest in all the decentralized finance space. And for people who may not know, this is well, I'll let you explain it, but it's a growing industry within crypto assets. Nowadays, we don't have just cryptocurrencies. We also have several crypto assets that allow people to invest and get paid.
Yeah. So just quickly to explain a little more about DeFi, the decentralized finance, is today or a couple of years ago, the only thing that you can do with your cryptocurrencies is what we were talking. Send it through remittances, payment, or just hold in your wallets and speculate with the price. So of course, hoping that the price of Bitcoin or another cryptocurrencies get higher every year. But right now, you also have services that the community or different companies are creating and are developing related with financial services on top of blockchain technology. And for example, you can deposit your cryptocurrencies into a company or into our smart contract to earn annual yield like a bank. If you have, I don't know, US dollar, and you go to your bank, your bank, and say, okay, I want to open and saving account. Okay, you deposit $1,000, and you are going to have like 3% at the end of the year. And in this ecosystem, you have the same, but in smart contracts globally, of course, operating with blockchain technology. And you can have like a, I don't know, for a stable coin, you could have like a 8-9% of interest annually. So they are creating financial services where you can deposit, get loans, and all related with smart contracts.
Right.
The people here in Latin America knows about DeFi. Argentina is for what I can see, is one of the largest countries in Latin America using DeFi, because as we were talking earlier, the devaluation of the Argentinian peso is high.
Through the roof.
Yeah. So they are used. They get paid in Argentinian pesos. They quickly change it to a stable coin like DAI, like USDT or USDC, and with that they have they enter this ecosystem, and they can start saving those that money into these decentralized finance products. So for that, for the Argentinian that knows about that operation, they earn a lot of money because of the exchange rate between the dollar and the Argentinian peso. Colombia is also a very good market, and Mexico and Brazil also. The four biggest markets in the entire ecosystem in Latin America are Mexico, Brazil, Colombia, and Argentina. Venezuela is more related with Bitcoin and store of value and monetary system. But for what I can see, they just starting with this DeFi ecosystem also. What are the other cryptocurrencies that in Latin America we have? Well, the community use a lot of Ether, a lot of stable coins, like I mentioned before. You have a large communities of Cardano, of Polkadot, of Avalanche, and they know a lot of cryptocurrencies. I speak with people through social networks, asking different projects that even I don't know. So we have a lot of people learning, investigating about more different projects and crypto assets where they can invest. But for what I can see, the biggest one are Bitcoin, Ether, Cardano, Polkadot, well, Binance, Binance Smart Chain or BNB, and all related with DeFi and stable coins are services and cryptocurrencies that the Latin American ecosystem is using.
Right. So to wrap it up, Cristóbal, I would like to ask you let's say your elevator pitch for investing in a Latin American fintech company, as opposed to, say, I don't know, an exchange in the US or somewhere else. Why should investors care about Latin American crypto asset market in general?
Well, I can see that is I'm going to give you two insights about the entire Latin American ecosystem. 40% of the people are not bank; they don't have any bank service or financial services. So you just have like 60% of the people, an average, because you have countries where you have less than 50% of people with banking accounts or banking services. That is one insight. And the other one is that the penetration of mobile phones and internet is getting closer to 80%. So you have a bridge there. You can have an application like a wallet of Bitcoin or financial services like a fintech, creating here to help that community, that people that don't have any bank account or financial services in their phones. And that is something that the fintech and a startup related with blockchain are seeing right now and created and developing and services related with neobanking and all that you can have in your mobile phone, because as I told you, like you have a country like an average people have 2 mobile phone and connection to internet, so the market there is huge, and we don't have a lot of services where you can explode that market. So I can see that for fintech and blockchain companies or startup company, that market, it could be interest for next years.
Perfect. And now that you mentioned neobanks, I should mention that we have a backgrounder on econamericas.com about neobanks in Brazil, because that's it's a 100 million users market. So it's a very interesting opportunity. You can check
in Brazil,
out
in Argentina, and
Yes.
Colombia, and Mexico right now, you have those 4 countries that the neobanking industry is
booming.
Yeah. Booming.
Oh, okay, Cristobal, and tell us where can people find you on social media, if you are on which social media networks, and if you also want to give a plug about Blockchain Summit Latam. Is it going to happen this year?
Yeah. Well, as the pandemic, we don't have any chance to do it on site or a presential event. We're going to have it online again. The last year we did it the first week of November, but this year we want to have it like at the end of June or maybe at the end of July, online also. So yeah, we are going to announce that through our Blockchain Summit Latam social networks. And for me, you can find me on Twitter. I'm active there, on LinkedIn and Instagram, and all different social network. In Twitter, I'm as Christ, like Cristóbal, but just until the T, Christ Pereira G. And on LinkedIn, you can find me as Cristóbal Pereira with no problem.
Sure, we'll post the links in the show notes so people you can follow Cristobal there. And I have to say, I also saw you on TikTok, and it's a really funny but interesting social media network. So you can find him there too. And folks, you can tune into our social media channels as well. Thank you so much, Cristobal, for joining us, and see you next month with the next episode.
Thanks.